Mr. Speaker, what we have over there is inflation of liberal arrogance.
Carney just oozing arrogance. Welcome back to Moose on Loose. My name's David. Today, Carney finally back in the House of Commons. Pierre grilling the guy. Carney makes one of the most outrageous statements about the deficit. I can't believe people voted for this guy. Let's jump into this. Starting this episode off, we saw previously Mark Carney hanging out with Alexander Stubb, the president of Finland, skating, playing hockey, and we've got this Finland's president on why he believes Canada could eventually be part of the EU. I thought we were supposed to be a sovereign nation. I thought we were elbows up, making our country strong and sovereign. What, now we're going to be part of the EU? Why wouldn't we join America then? This goes directly against Mark Carney's entire narrative of the election. We got this one here, which is absolutely wild, also posted by Melissa. Yikes, Canada will be sending 120 million to Sudan and surrounding countries. Yesterday, 40 million to Lebanon, all while Canadians struggle and are taxed to the max.
Today, our government is announcing more than $120 million in new funding to support the people of Sudan and
Why would you support the people of Canada? 1 in 4 Canadians don't have enough food. Is this money laundering? Sure looks like it. This makes no logical sense why they'd be sending our money over there right now. Because we can't audit the money when it goes to Sudan. Prove me wrong. Show me something you've done with money in Sudan, even though we shouldn't be doing it. We're getting no value for money. I'm convinced somebody's stuffing this in their pocket until I'm proven wrong. And the comments here are not friendly to this. You know, what the actual F? For decades, money in the billions have been sent and only a fraction gets to where it should go. Unfortunately, will never be enough. Thanks for the 24-cent saving on gas. Yep. Just think about this for a second. This is the first thing that Carney's government does after getting a majority government is send $120 million of our money, our hard-earned money, to Sudan. Not to mention 40 million to Lebanon. This just tells you what they think of us. They know that they can just take our money and send it around the world and there's nothing we can do about it. Because our system is so corrupt and the brass of the RCMP protecting them, allowing them to do this. Meanwhile, we've got Mark Carney here once again getting the paparazzi ready while he parades these people into his caucus.
What you want? Yeah.
These people are liars and cheaters. They lie and cheat at everything. What are they celebrating? Canadians are suffering right now. He parades them like trophies because that's all they are to him. Yeah, I mean, this is all he does in the House of Commons. He'll just jet off now to some other part of the world to sign more deals for Brookfield. With that said, we've got a House session here. Pierre's back in the House. Carney's back in the House. I wouldn't be shocked if Carney's not around for the rest of the week.
Oral questions. Questions orales. The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Are 3 liberal taxes on gasoline. There's the excise tax. There's the new liberal carbon tax that they call the fuel standard. And then they charge the GST on those other taxes. Because of conservative pressure, this Prime Minister...
The Honourable Member for Hamilton, Ancaster, I believe it is far too loud during question period.
Why is he yelling at the beginning of question period? It's this guy here, John Paul Danko. I don't even know who this guy is. Hamilton Ancaster. This guy, I guess, just bellowing in the House of Commons.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. There are 3 liberal taxes on gasoline. Number 1, there's the excise tax. Then there's the new liberal carbon tax they call the fuel standard. And then they charge the GST on those other 2 taxes. Now, with Canada having the highest grocery price inflation in the G7 and paying 20% more at the pumps, we put the pressure on the Prime Minister, and he's partially backed down, removing only one of those taxes and only for a third of the year. Why doesn't he follow our full plan to reduce gas prices by 25 cents a litre by getting rid of all the taxes for all the year?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, what the government is proposing is to cut the excise tax, 10 cents a litre for gasoline, 4 cents on diesel. We've already cut the consumer carbon tax, 18 cents per litre. We are recycling all the excess revenues from higher oil prices to Canadians. What we are not doing is what the Leader of the Opposition is proposing, which is to substantially increase the deficit, something he's regularly against by more than $3 billion, because this government can count, Mr. Speaker. This government can count.
The arrogance of this man is off the charts. I mean, I just showed you $120 million to Sudan, and he talks about the deficit. What a terrible prime minister. You can see on the bench there, Carney's having a laugh about this. This is all a joke to him. He's running a big deficit, ruining our country, and he's going to get rich. He doesn't give a crap about us.
What he is not doing is increasing the deficit. It's only up by 100% since he took office, Mr. Speaker. Does he even read his own budget, or does he want Canadians not to know what's inside it? In fact, all the money printing that he does, because he's famous for causing inflation, he's made a career out of it. Statistics Canada has made it clear that the gap between rich and poor is now greater than it's ever been in a report published just this week. One of the biggest taxes on the poor is the gas tax. Instead of just removing a third of the tax for the third of the year, why not get rid of the entire Liberal tax on gas for the whole year?
Mr. Speaker, one thing I've learned in my economics education is you've got to study history and you've got to look at numbers. My record as a central bank governor is inflation less than 2% at the Bank of Canada, inflation less than 2% at the Bank of England. Well, let's get back to where we are today, which is
He doesn't buy the crap he's putting out. Look, his little Freudian slip there of his smile.
Bank of England. Well, let's get back.
Right there, you see that? He can't help himself. This is what you call duper's delight. How to recognize duper's delight. So there's a full article on it here. Body language expert Janine Driver says duper's delight is an inappropriate expression of joy. For instance, a person experiencing duper's delight might laugh or smirk after telling a lie or doing something hurtful. Mark Carney does this all the time. And, it says it may be genuine joy. Carney does this all the time in the House of Commons here. He really does not care about the people of Canada.
Let's get back to where we are today, which is wages in this country are growing at more than twice the rate of inflation. And I'll spell it out for the member opposite. That means Canadians are getting ahead.
It's clear that he's learned all the wrong lessons. Not only did he cause the housing crisis in London, not only did he cause the worst inflation in the G7 when he was the bank governor over there, he advised Justin Trudeau to print money here, causing inflation. And since arriving in Canada, he's given us the worst food price inflation in the G7, the worst investment in the G7, the worst housing costs in the G7, the worst household debt in the G7. So why doesn't he learn his lesson from all the failed economic experiments that only benefit insiders with tax havens like him and get rid of all the taxes on gas for all of the year?
Pierre's on it. Can't get this past this guy. He's on his A game here. He needs to just completely annihilate Carney like this every single time, because eventually this will start getting through to people.
5 minutes.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Mr. Speaker, I feel like I'm in the presence of students, and I don't think you would pass the exam with those answers. Mr. Speaker, as the IMF confirmed yesterday, Canada will have the second fastest growth in the G7 this year. As the IMF confirmed yesterday, we have the best fiscal position in the G7. Point final. As we have confirmed, we have the highest foreign direct investment per capita in the world.
Hear, hear.
So Carney's reply here is arrogance, just straight up arrogance. He keeps quoting the IMF, this very same IMF that labels Taiwan as a province of China. Yep. We know Carney likes China and organizations friendly to China, doesn't he?
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Oh, the Liberal arrogance. You can come through it tonight. Well, this is someone...
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition may continue. Yeah,
we have, Mr. Speaker, what we have over there is inflation of Liberal arrogance. Right now, he wants to tell Canadians that they've never had it so good when food prices are rising faster in Canada than any other country in the G7, when Canadian households are the most indebted in the G7, when Canadian housing costs are the most elevated in the G7, and when just today RBC reported that we have the worst investment in the G7. The question again is, Canadians cannot afford gas at the pump. Why not get rid of all the taxes for all the year?
the right.
You have, Mr.
I don't know what they said. It's hard to hear. Oh, it's something like, give us a lesson, great one, something like that.
You have, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, to learn a lesson, you have to have ears to hear. There are some on the benches opposite who've been listening, Mr. Speaker. They will notice that wages are growing more than twice the rate of inflation in this country. They will notice that rents have gone down relative to incomes for 33 straight months. They will notice that I am out of time.
It's all just a game to these Liberals. Moving ahead, look at this rat here in the House of Commons.
We never know when the next major shock is coming. We need serious leadership and a real plan to build a strong and more independent Canadian economy. Since the conflict in the Middle East began, this global volatility has impacted the wallets of Canadians. We need...
Oh my goodness. Like, she's just right into the propaganda. Oh, it's only the Iran situation. That's why everything's so bad. It's not 10 years of liberal destruction in our country. I mean, as Pierre just pointed out, RBC, we're now the worst in the G7 for, what was it, businesses leaving? And here's Marilyn Gladu kissing Carney's ring.
more direct support for them. Yesterday morning, we saw just that. Can the Secretary of State inform Canadians how our new government is bringing down costs for essentials at home in the face of instability abroad?
Oh my goodness.
Speaker, I want to thank the member for Sarnia Lambton for that great question and determination to do.
Oh, thank you for the great question. Quite something what's going on in the House of Commons right now. We've got Andrew Lawton here, Conservative, saying the Liberals have been filibustering the Ethics Committee for 10 hours to block Finance Minister Francois-Philippe Champagne from having to testify about his conflicts of interest with Alto. 10 hours they are filibustering so he doesn't have to testify. It's unbelievable.
Monsieur Hardy, a few moments ago, offered what I thought was an incredible support of goodwill from the Conservatives to the Liberals there, that we approve their amendment, which in principle we disagree with because we do think this is important enough that it needs to be reported to the House, but that we support their amendment and support the motion itself. And this was a great opportunity for the Liberals to prove that they actually were concerned about this technicality on reporting to the House. But that wasn't the case, because they denied unanimous consent to that. What we're dealing with, we were prepared to support the Liberal amendment, dispense with this ridiculous 10-hour filibuster by the Liberals, remove the reporting of the House, but allow the Ethics Committee to do the work of studying the minister's claims that he has recused himself from decisions the government has made related to Alto, and invite the minister to appear for 2 hours, invite executives from Alto, including the CEO, Martin Blot, for 2 hours, and the Conflict of Interest and Ethics Commissioner, Conrad von Finkenstein, for 2 hours as well. That was what we were supporting.
They should invite his wife while they're at it. Put both of them side by side. Folks know there's no penalty. They've seen their bosses get away with it, so what the heck? They have a majority now, so there's no stopping them. Ethics in Canadian politics is a joke. Yeah, that comment there. There's no punishment for any of this stuff. They're just going to rip us off, and nothing will happen because they have the brass of the RCMP in their back pocket. Jumping ahead here, Francois-Philippe Champagne can't get away from his conflict of interest with Alto high-speed rail. He refuses to stand up to address it. He refuses to go to committee.
Grenville, Thousand Islands, Rideau Lakes.
The law is clear that ministers must not use their position to further the personal interests of their family members, but the finance minister is championing the multi-billion-dollar Alto project where his partner is a vice president. Now, it was the finance minister who told the prime minister that he was concerned about a conflict of interest because of that relationship and said that he needed to recuse himself, and Canadians agree. The problem is that's not what he did. Now, the Standing Committee on Access to Information, Privacy and Ethics wants to review the matter, have the minister come to clear the air. Instead, we have a Liberal filibuster. So will the minister end the filibuster and come to committee?
The Honourable Government House Leader.
You want to know who's championing high-speed rail in Canada? 173 Liberal MPs on the side of the House who are going to build major nation-building projects, including high-speed rail, a major project for national unity, a major project for...
This should be against the law. He's not answering the question. Either you answer the question or you get fined. Well, minimum like $5,000. You don't answer it, $5,000. Boom. It's just taken right off your paycheck.
Mobility in our country, a project that will favor the building trades, men and women, steel, aluminum, lumber. We're going to put people to work using Canadian materials, and we're going to move that train as fast as we can, Mr. Speaker.
Well, the problem is for these Liberals is that their Liberal candidates in the area even know that this is so unpopular that they're speaking out against this boondoggle. And Canadians want accountability from these Liberals. It's $90 billion, and the minister is refusing to come to committee, and there's this Liberal filibuster that persists. My question is to the chair of the Standing Committee on Access to Information, Privacy and Ethics. Can he tell the House why the minister hasn't been scheduled to appear to testify on this conflict of interest scandal?
Mr. Speaker, and the member's quite right. If the minister had nothing to hide, he'd have nothing to fear coming to the Ethics Committee. The Ethics Committee will be heading into its 12th hour with the Liberals filibustering an amendment that Conservatives actually support. Mr. Speaker, the motion calls on the Finance Minister to explain his claim that he's recused himself from decisions on Alto when it's clear he did not. Yesterday, the Liberal Prime Minister promised Canadians that they would see less showboating, more relevance, and substantive debate at committee. So if the Prime Minister truly believes that, why doesn't he tell his members to stand down and have the Finance Minister appear?
So John nailed it there. If he had nothing to hide, then why doesn't he show up? He has something to hide, clearly. He says he recused himself. We've got McKinnon yesterday saying nothing wrong going on there. Well, clearly there was, because he recused himself. So these guys can't even get their story straight. And that's what we see every single day in the House of Commons here.